So, what do you do when you're sick and you're not feeling well and you still need to be productive and get stuff done? Well, in this case, I am sick. I still need to get stuff done. So, let's get into it. Well, thankfully, I recorded that a few days ago. And while I'm not completely over the cold, I'm feeling much better and have more energy. But I'm glad I recorded that when I did, because for me, that was a really good example of one of the key things I do when I'm not feeling well, not motivated, whatever the deal may be. But it's to keep the habit and reduce the scope. I remember first hearing about this. I think it was in Atomic Habits, which James Clear wrote. Maybe it was during a podcast with him, something like that, or maybe somebody else said it. But the idea being, try to keep your habits but reduce the scope. And that means, like, well, I had a goal to create a video or to create 2 videos, but instead of saying, god, I've got to get that all done now, I'm going to keep the habit. I'm just going to do the first part. I was sick, I had limited amount of energy, so I recorded that intro and told myself that's good enough. You're putting in the work. And I didn't after that, and a few other things I had to do. I needed to go back to bed. I was exhausted. But I think that idea is really important. And again, I want to say that you should be doing this only for the really important stuff. If you can, you clear out your appointments, your meetings, whatever you can, and how much of your time you're in control of. I'm aware that you may have meetings, you may have work to go to, you've got to pick up a kid, do whatever. I'm not telling you not to do any of that, but whatever's in your control, try to reduce the amount of, because basically as well, if we're focusing on being ill or being sick, you're probably going to push yourself to a point where maybe you're doing things that are actually negative. And that could be physically, right? You're making yourself worse, or you're taking longer to recover. Also, I don't know about you, but when I'm sick, I tend to not think as clearly, right? That's pretty much a hallmark of being sick. So things are going to take longer. You're more prone to making mistakes. So again, another reason to really lower down the amount of things you have to do on your plate. Now, the other thing I want to say is a lot of this staying productive while you're sick takes place before you're sick. Okay, if you find yourself just completely falling to pieces when you have a little bit of a cold or something else happens, then you probably want to look at your systems and see what you have in place. For example, do you have a good morning routine? Do you have something simple that you can follow? Something that's 5, maybe max 10 steps that you do every morning when you're going through, maybe before work. And that's, whatever that is, checking the inbox, reviewing your calendar, trimming down your tasks to the most important ones, whatever that is for you. But having that not just be something that lives up here, but having it written down on a piece of paper, having it, in an app you use, whether that's like ClickUp or Todoist or, even a Google Doc, and having that link available. Setting these things up ahead of time is what's going to save you when you're not at your best, and that's when you really need it. So I encourage you, if you don't have that today, to go ahead and just start simple. Make your morning routine, and I'll put a link in down below for kind of the daily routine plan I have, or how to make one. But that will really save you. And then go back again to where we started this, kind of full circle. Now reduce down whatever you can get rid of, get off your plate. But this way you're still keeping important stuff moving. You're not forgetting anything. Things aren't being dropped, and projects can keep moving forward. So depending again on where you're at, if you're an executive, if you're a student, if you're a business owner, whatever that is, there's things you probably have to get done. So we want to make sure we can do those and then get back to taking care of ourselves, take that rest, get better, so that you're back at 100% and you can really do a good job. So hopefully this helps. If you have any tips of your own, feel free to leave a comment below, or if you have any questions about this, also leave a comment and I'll get back to you.